What's up guys, my name is Liam and today we're going to be talking about the Ninjutso Sora. Is this a top competitor amongst all the other mice on the market? Let's find out. Alright guys, so here we have it, the Ninjutso Sora. I've been gaming on this mouse ever since it first released. I pre-ordered the original copy, so I've had it for a few months now. Overall, I don't know what my deal's been lately with mice, but I've won the mice quality lottery because this mouse, ever since I first got it, it's been spot on. And it absolutely blew my mind when I got my hands on it, to be completely honest with you. There's a couple mice out there that do kind of compare to it right now. There's the Pulsar X2, the X2 Mini. I would say this is a little bit closer to the X2 Mini style, the way that it feels. It's pretty much a smaller in-game gear. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to drop a video showing you guys the clicks, pre-travel, all that stuff. Let's get into it. The only noticeable thing about this mouse is that the side buttons have a little bit of pre-travel, but other than that, my quality of this mouse is just absolutely spot on. There's practically no pre-travel on the left and right clicks. Scroll wheel feels absolutely incredible. Nice defined steps, not too hard to actuate. Even the side buttons, they feel, even though they have a little bit of pre-travel, just the clicks. So this mouse is implementing the Huano black shell pink dot switches, and these are probably, I would say, the clickiest types of switches that I've ever tried. They're very clicky. I've seen a lot of people saying that these switches are a little hard to actuate. They're a tad bit hard to actuate, but they're not like nothing insane. Like the G Pro, for example, a lot of people like to compare these two. Probably just because they look similar with the scroll wheel and stuff like that. But the G Pros are a little bit lighter, where these a little more clickier. But I wouldn't say it's too much of a massive difference. I would put the clicks almost on par with my HTX, as I did mention in the past. They are a little bit on the heavier side, but again, in my opinion, nothing that's too terrible, unplayable. I mean, you can still spam these clicks pretty easily. As far as the weight balancing goes, that is probably the #1 thing that blew me away about this mouse. And as much as I love the X2, this mouse has absolutely spoiled me. And the reason I'm saying that is because, let's pull up the weight here. My copy's coming in about 46.8 grams. And can you notice a difference between this and the X2? Absolutely you can. This mouse actually does feel lighter, in my opinion, than 46 grams. Like when you compare it to other things, let's take, for example, like the Starlight Medium. In my truthful, honest opinion, this one feels a tad bit lighter, and the reason being is just because, as I've showed you guys before with these final mouse, as great as they are, they're heavier on the left side, whereas this one is way more balanced. So when you're swiping like this, it feels like this mouse is lighter. And let me go ahead and throw up scale comparisons here between the two. So 48 grams, 48.6 grams. So again, it is lighter, even though it's only by 2 grams. That might sound stupid to say this one feels lighter, because it is. But what I mean by that is just the overall balancing of the mouse. You could totally feel it. It makes a huge difference, and it feels absolutely phenomenal. As far as wireless performance and tracking goes with this mouse, it's incredible. I have not noticed a single hiccup, a single issue. Once I got this mouse and I got it in my hands, I enjoyed it so much it was hard to put it down. You can absolutely fingertip this mouse, no issues at all whatsoever. And I feel like this mouse is designed flawlessly for relaxed claw grip. It feels incredible in hands. This is using a 3395 sensor. Coating on it it's okay. It's not terrible. I don't hate it. It is a little better in the G Pro Superlight, but where the G Pro Superlight just feels really slippery to me. This mouse does feel grippier, and I don't know if you guys can see, but there's a little bit more texture on it. But it is, I would say it's more on the slippery side. We got the Pulsar X2 Mini. We have the Cooler Master MM712. And then we also have the Lamzu Atlantis Mini. So I would definitely say it's in the ballpark right here. The Sora is just a little bit bigger than these, so we'll go over that here in just a second. But starting out, we got the Sora at 46.8 grams. Throw the X2 Mini up here. We got this one coming in at 53.4 grams. The similarities between the two, in all honesty, these two mice are actually, very similar. This mouse doesn't have, it's not as curvy as a Lamzu Atlantis, but it's also not as flat as the X2. That's what it looks like on the bottom. It's a bit flatter. This one does have a bit more curves, just slightly, but overall it does feel more flat than it does curvy. Like the Lamzu Atlantis feels very curvy. This does have a very comfortable grip though. I do love this mouse. It's the curves aren't too intrusive. Overall the mouse is pretty wide. I love the X2. I got nothing bad to say about Pulsar. Their mice are phenomenal. But honestly, the balancing and the weight in this mouse, it just honestly takes it to a whole nother level. I really hope that Pulsar can get the weight down on these mice, because the X2s are top tier mice. It's just there's so much competition, and Ninjutso just killed it with this mouse so much. As far as the hump goes, I would say the hump feels more aggressive on the Sora compared to the X2s. It is a pretty defined hump back there. When you're gripping this mouse, let's say you're doing a relaxed claw like this, okay? You're gonna get a lot of contact right here, okay? You definitely feel that hump up there. It almost feels kind of pointy, not necessarily so much, but it does aggressively get up there. Whereas with the X2, again, it is aggressive hump. It's honestly kind of in the same area, right around in here. But I do feel like the hump is a little bit smoother on the mini version of the X2. Cooler Master MM712. And the Cooler Master MM712 coming in at 56 grams. This is a great mouse, but when you have these next to each other, this is one of my favorite mice on the market. You can easily pick one of these up. The optical switches on it. I feel like the implementation of this mouse is great. It definitely took everybody by surprise. This one definitely feels shorter. This one definitely feels wider in the hands, the MM712. And it definitely feels heavier. As far as the balancing on the MM712 goes, it's definitely got the heavier left side there. Front to back feels phenomenal, but you definitely notice a difference in the weight. This mouse feels like it's on a whole other tier when it compares this mouse as far as weight goes. The 712 has a much smoother hump in the back. It's not as aggressive. This is still a great option for fingertip. I'm not trying to bash it. I love this mouse. I'm only gonna compare mice to that I actually like. If I don't like mice, I usually get rid of them, give them away. I love this mouse. It's great. I would recommend it. Between these two, I do prefer the Sora a little bit more. So this is one people have been waiting for a while. Everybody was saying that at first when it came out that this felt like a Atlantis Mini. So here's a full-size Atlantis, the Atlantis Mini. As you can see there, they are pretty similar when it comes to length. When you look at the front, the width is pretty similar. Overall, I would say they're pretty close. 50.2 grams versus the 46.8. How do these compare against one another as far as weight and balance goes? What I would say is if you're looking more for like the XM1 style, you do like a little bit more of an aggressive rear hump. You want a mouse that overall feels slightly bigger and just a little bit longer. I would have to recommend the Ninjutso Sora in this situation. Even though these mice look pretty identical as far as the length goes, this mouse just feels shorter to me. And I think the reason being, I feel like the back flares out a little bit more. And here, let me show you guys the comparison here really quick. So that's what the grip looks like on that one. That's what the grip looks like on that one. So the Lamzu Atlantis Mini, I feel like it feels like it flares out a little bit more in the back. The Lamzu Atlantis Mini feels a little bit more narrow in the middle. so the grooves feel more aggressive. The hump on the Lamzu Atlantis Mini is far less aggressive than the hump on this one. As you can see, this one's a lot more pointy at the top, whereas this one has more of a smoother gradual transition. I don't know if you can see with the lighting, but this mouse kind of feels like it pulls this way, and like when it gets to the hump, it like makes it a little more pointier there. So this one is just feels like it's just smoother and flatter all around. So this one, when you're putting contact in your hand with the Lamzu Atlantis Mini, it sits more naturally across your hand. Whereas this one, it feels like there's a point. There's a point that goes up in the palm right here of your hand. That's honestly all I can really say about these two. Both of these mice are so incredible. I would have to give the slight edge to the clicks on the Lamzu Atlantis Mini. I mean, they're so close. Honestly, it's hard to say between these two because the quality of these two, in my opinion, is just so great. The only thing that's noticeable about these two, in my opinion, is I do like the side buttons a lot more in the Lamzu Atlantis Mini. These ones, they just have a little bit of pre-travel and it makes them feel kind of spongy. But again, I'm just trying to give you guys as much detail as I can here because both these mice are so great and they're just so incredible that it's really hard to say if I were to prefer one. Honestly, they almost come in at a tie for me. So anyways, I guess I'll go ahead and end it there. I feel like I could just sit here and ramble about these mice forever, and I can be like, well, this is this and this is that, because there's just so many great qualities and features about both of these mice, and I just absolutely love them. And what I'm in fear of, or what I should say other companies should be in fear of, is when these guys get up to 4K technology. And right now, I'm just so excited to see what Ninjutsu is going to bring out in the future as far as Lamzu. So absolutely just banger, guys. Unbelievable mouse here. If you're considering getting this mouse, stop considering it. Just go pick it up. I hope that you guys get a flawless copy like I have. Like I said, I've won the lottery lately. It's so heartbreaking when I get a mouse and I love it and I recommend it to somebody and it has quality issues. So I apologize if that happens, but this mouse is just amazing. So again, I'll end it right there. I feel like I'm just going on and on about this mouse because of how great it is. Is this going to stay on my desk? Absolutely. If I feel like I need a bigger mouse or anything like that, you really can't go wrong with the Ninjutso Sora. So anyways, that's about it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know if there's anything else you guys want me to show you, review, any comparisons you want me to make. I'll go as deep as possible, answer any questions you guys have. So thank you so much for watching, and until next time, we'll see you soon.